Hey, welcome back, welcome back. So last time I explained to you what what a systematic reasoning task was, and I also introduced this CLUTTR dataset. So today let me begin with telling you how a CLUTTR problem instance is framed. So the precise way in which a CLUTTR problem instance is framed. So let's look at this test instance. So firstly, in the problem instance, you get the story facts. So here the bold edges are the story facts. So you're given the three story facts that 4 is the parent of 3, 3 is the sibling of 2, and 2 is the sibling of 1. Then you have a query. The query asks you what is the relationship between 4 and 1. So here the 4 is called the source node of the query, 1 is called the target node of the query. And finally, the solution to the query is given. So a reasoning model trying to solve CLUTTR would try to solve the query, and the correct answer here is parent of, and that is also given to you in CLUTTR. So that's how a problem instance is set up. If you look at how this particular problem instance is to be solved, so the first step is to say that 3 is a sibling of 1. That follows from the fact that the sibling of relationship is transitive. That's a CLUTTR world rule that your reasoning model should have learned during training. Next, you apply the world rule that your sibling's parent is also your parent. So that would mean that 4 is a parent of 3, 3 is a sibling of 1, and that gives you 4 is a parent of 1, which is the solution to the query. Now, if you look a little bit closer into how this problem was solved, two things will pop out to you, and those are two things that's common to each and every CLUTTR problem instance. The first one is all the information that you need to solve the query lies on a path between the source node and the target node. That's true for this problem instance and also every other CLUTTR problem instance. The second one is you find a path between the source and target, and then you just move linearly through this path. And when I mean linearly, I mean that you just take these pairs of consecutive edges and keep reducing them, and you will arrive at your solution. The number of reasoning steps here was 2, and the length of the path between the source and the target is 3. So always the number of reasoning steps is 1 less than the length of the path between the source and the target. That's what I mean by linear, and this is a property that's true about all CLUTTR problem instances. So these are two properties that eventually CLUTTR was released in 2020, and eventually CLUTCHF models emerged which were able to solve CLUTTR, and they heavily exploited these two properties of CLUTTR. So we developed Nora, and Nora is a new benchmark, and it demands types of reasoning that CLUTTR overlooked or did not include, and we showed that those types of reasoning are very difficult or unsolvable by all state-of-the-art models. So that's the motivation for learning Nora. So I will tell you two things about Nora that Nora and CLUTTR share. So the problem instances are framed in the same way as I showed you for CLUTTR. Also, the CLUTTR world rules are very intuitive. I described them to you and they immediately strike you as something that you know from everyday experiences. And these are two things we included in Nora as well. So we don't want to throw away the baby with the bathwater. We want to keep what's good about CLUTTR, and CLUTTR is a fine data set. So here is a Nora problem instance. The story facts are the bold edges. So here the story facts are these 4 bold black edges. And the query is, what is the relationship between Kai and Jim? And this is a hidden fact that you will need to derive, then that will help you solve the query. So this is the label. So how you solve this query is as follows. So first you note that Lee is an uncle of Rita. That's a story fact. That means Lee is male. In a Nora world rule is that uncles are male. So now you have Lee is male. Lee has no sisters. And Lee is a child of Jim. So that means Jim has no daughters. If Jim has a sisterless male child, that means Jim has no daughters. Finally, Jim has no daughters and Kai is a child-in-law of Jim. So Kai must be a daughter-in-law. And that's how you derive this hidden entailed relationship between Kai and Jim. And that will help you solve this Nora problem instance about what are the relationships between Kai and Jim. So the reason for considering this example is that here in the derivation, we had to use these edges that were not on any path between the source and the target node. So these 2 nodes in the story are the source and the target, and these edges lie on no path between the source and the target. And that is a property that we think is challenging for reasoning models. And we measure this. We introduce this metric called OPEC. OPEC counts the number of edges that you require to solve the problem instance that do not lie on any path between the source and the target. In Nora, along with the problem instances, the query and the correct solution to the query, we also give you a full proof of how to solve the query. So this proof here that we gave you for this particular instance, every of the thousands of Nora problem instances also have a proof given with them. And these proofs are very important because if you want to use SFT to train a reasoning model to solve Nora, you can use these proofs to construct very high quality exemplars.